pleasure this morning to welcome again Keith Delmar with the Morning Mindset, who's multitasking. I've never had bubbles in the studio before.
Got to get the bubbles in the video.
Oh, mate, the bubbles, this is your time, man, and you are on fire blowing the bubbles.
Yeah, the best thing to have is a bottle of bubbles with you. They're fun anytime. Okay, Brian, today's Morning Mindset is openness. So what are the bubbles about being openness? Because we're in a bubble. We need to pop our bubbles. So I was in a bubble most of my life. I grew up in upstate New York, which was a wonderful bubble to grow in. It had 4 seasons. It was beautiful. The ground didn't shake too much. But growing up, I wanted to have more openness in my life. I wanted to experience different things. And I thought, okay, how to experience different things? I'm going to need to go out there in the world and find some things to experience.
Can we have some more bubbles too? Because you're
more
capable
bubbles.
of...
Oh, the more bubbles. You want some more bubbles.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Right.
I only got 5 minutes, Brian.
No, but it's okay. I might give you an extra minute.
You know, bubbles are skill. You know,
all right.
is a very...
So you're in New York State, 4 seasons, but you're in a bubble and you wanted to broaden your horizons and you're blowing bubbles. You can do it, Keith. Okay, that's enough bubbles. Back to your story.
Oh my gosh. Bubbles are challenging, folks. I got to practice my bubbling. Okay, so bubbles in the studio. You can watch them on Facebook. But here's the story here. So I'll tell you a story about how I experienced openness in my life. So I had a friend, and my friend said, I want to go to a synagogue. I'm Jewish. I've never been to a synagogue, and why don't you come with me? And here I am, growing up from a non-religious family. And I don't talk about this much because, you know, religion, it's a contentious thing, you know. But I was open. I said, okay, I'll go with you. I'm not Jewish. I don't know anything about being Jewish. I don't know anything. And I thought, well, it's interesting, so let's go. So I go along to the synagogue. And they were doing a class. It's like a little workshop class. It was from Sinai to cyberspace. And I thought, whoa, this is pretty deep. So anyways, what happened was I ended up spending the next few years studying Judaism with my friend.
Really?
So a deep study to understand. I was fascinated. I had never really got into religion at all, and I thought, this is an interesting book. I should research this. You know, a lot of people talk about it, and I thought, okay. So this was when I was in my 20s.
Yes. And
so I spent 5 years getting into the shoes of what it meant to be Jewish. I always thought to myself, hey, it's to know something, you need to walk in the shoes, right?
Wow.
So I wore the shoes. I learned about the holidays. I wore the little hat. I grew a beard. It was
Shalom Shabbatika.
Shabbat Shalom.
Anyway,
Shalom Aleichem.
Back to you, man.
I learned the language. I learned the letters. It was all really fascinating. And it had its time in my life. I learned it. But what came out of this? What did that openness provide in my life? And what happened was, I am now able to look back at that time and say, I understand more about holidays of another culture. I understand another language. I understand how people bless their foods in another culture. And then I can look back and go relate that to some Christian culture, some Russian culture, all these different things that I pulled together. And I see how we're all connected, that we all do things that connect us together. And it just makes my life so much richer by being open to things and ideas, thoughts that are not my normal bubble. These are things that are outside of my comfort zone. And it really makes my life rich. So I'm hoping that you, the listener, will take some time to think, what can I be open to?
Wow, that's a powerful story.
You know, it's like, what in your life right now?
You really got to
just say, okay,
to that person's shoes for a long time.
I did. It was a considerable
the
amount
metaphors,
of time.
walking in their shoes.
And
wow.
And I learned a lot. I mean, coming from a childhood where, you know, I knew nothing about different cultures, to opening myself up to that has made me understand people more.
And now in Taranaki with WOMAD coming up, and we've just had the multi-ethnic extravaganza. And this Sunday, March 15, the Muslim community, because of the massacre, sadly, last year, inviting people to go to their mosque, Smart Road on Sunday, and come together as one, and do exactly what you're talking about.
Why not just show up with love in your heart and kindness? It's all that we all want. So we're all here for that. Why not go for it?
Wow.
So, hey, thanks for everybody listening, and do me a favor. And I love waking up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. on these days and coming out to talk to you. But please try this out and let me know how it goes. Watch our Facebook page and check out the bubbles. Thanks, Brian. Thank you guys for having me. Thanks for being you.
Keith Delmar, the pleasure is ours. That was Keith Delmar in the Morning Mindset, same time next week.